Alright, guys, we're gonna do a little something different today. Um, so, as you can see in the title, and one of the things that we should know is coming up is that, well, we're going to be approaching the preseason, or the first week, of AD2L. So AD2L is the Amateur Dota 2 League. It's, well, it's exactly what the name says. And we're gonna be talking about, well, the first impressions that you're gonna get if you were to pay attention to the AD2L teams. So, I mean, AD2L in itself is a pretty good name. It tells you exactly what it is. It is the Amateur Dota 2 League. You can't have a better name than that. It is exactly what it says in the tin. If you compare it to something like the Reddit Dota 2 League, same idea. The Learn Dota 2 League, same idea. But then you get something like League of Lads. Okay, that's a little bit different. I mean, it's a little bit more flair, a little bit catchier, but it doesn't tell you what it is on the tin. You've already got to be in the know. You talk about, like, the OG Dota Pit. Okay, now you got more flair on it. It tells you what it is, but it doesn't necessarily tell, like, what the tier is and everything. So, I mean, it's kind of cool. But that's besides the fact. We're talking about the teams in each division of AD2L and where I want to rank them, not with respect to their players, because we don't know anything about their players. We don't know anything about them. I mean, they could have been returning teams, but that doesn't tell you anything, especially not when you've got new talent, new people there, and everything like that. It doesn't tell you how they're going to do against everybody else. Dota's a complicated game. So instead, we're going to judge these teams based on the only thing that we can do during the preseason: their name. We're going to put them in tiers. So let's go ahead and get started right away. This is on Archon League. So, quick little rundown. We've got S tier, we've got A tier, we've got B tier, and we've got F tier. So, I'm not going to kind of, like, give you, like, the C and D tier, because, let's be honest, once you get past B, which is, like, the low-mid tier, you don't even care. It's just a bad name. So, let's just kind of start running through some of these teams and everything, and we'll think about what it is that we like, that we don't like. And, you're probably right. There probably is a desync between the audio and the webcam. Let me, I wonder if that's just because of the fact that I got, like, a different processor going. It's a half a second? Alright, look, I'm gonna tell you what to do. Ignore it. You can stop looking at my face. You're good, you're good, you're good. I look like a Neanderthal. I'm probably, like, completely doing the tech wrong. It's all gravy. It's all gravy. So, anyways, we're gonna start off with the Archon League. We're gonna start off looking at the entry-level point into AD2L is going to be our entry level into this tier list. And we're going to do different lists for each of these divisions because of the fact you can't judge an Archon team. You can't judge an Archon team against a Divine team. They're like two different skill profiles, and part of that skill profile is making a good name. So here we go, here we go. Let's think about Two Boots. Two Boots. All right, this is kind of a funny name if you're a Dota player, because it means that you've got, like, one for each foot. You usually buy one set of boots, but if you buy two boots, okay, it's kind of silly. And, you know, since you're dealing with an Archon level team, and you're going to have a lot of mistakes that you make sometimes, I'm going to say this is a pretty okay name, but this isn't like a top tier one. I'm going to put this in A tier for now, and maybe we'll move it around in a little bit and mix it up, but I think it's an A tier name right here. It might be something that's higher up. We'll kind of move this around and figure it out, but for now, we're going to have that be a good starter. So, the WSS Harpies. All right. WSS, already, that's just like, okay, what does this mean? You think about it, you do the research into the team, it means want steep sets. What the fuck does that mean? Want steep sets. Okay, you can do your homework, you can do your research, you can find where it comes from, but that takes way too much work. We're here to watch Dota. We don't want to have your entire life story in just a name. Now, Harpies, it's kind of cool. It's like, you know, Dungeons and Dragons, it's total turbo nerd stuff, and we're playing Dota, it's total turbo nerd game. Well, give them a B tier. I'm not going to say that's like total F tier, because, I mean, you have redeeming qualities to it. And there's also kind of like, I've seen teams making fun of the WSS organization, saying it stands for Wasted, Sad, and Suicidal. So, I mean, you can put your own meaning in the acronym, which is kind of a cool thing, you know? We're going to give it a little bit of credit for that so far. Okay. Third team here. Mary Todd Lincoln Forever Young, or MTL Forever Young. All right, guys, I don't know about you. I don't know if you guys are like, if you have a different opinion on this, but I don't really care. This is, my tier list. Mary Todd Lincoln, it's a cool name for a person. We have 5 people here, not just one person. We've got 5 people. And Mary Todd Lincoln is not a team name, that's a person name. So adding just Forever Young to this? No, that doesn't do you any good. You've still got Mary Todd Lincoln and then just 2 adjectives on top of it. So no, this is not a team name. That's just that's a person name. It's like if I don't know, if I named a team George W. Bush. What kind of team name is that? Who's gonna play on George W. Bush? No. Just okay, you guys are a good team. I've played against you in pubs all the time. But you gotta get a better name that's just not a franchise, you know what I'm saying? Okay. The Mittenses. All right. It doesn't tell me anything. I don't have anything like it's not good, it's not bad, it's just kind of there, I think this is kind of like the bench setter of a B tier name for me. It's not bad, it's not good. It's just right there in like that lower mid tier of completely forgettable, but it means that, maybe you're a really good team and you're just going to be unassuming for us. That's what we're talking about right here. That's what the Mittenses is. Let's move right on. Big Dingoes. Okay. You'd think that would fall under like the same idea as the Mittenses. No. Big Dingoes, it's a cool name. It doesn't tell you anything about them. It doesn't matter, though. These guys have style. They have panache. What are they? They're big dingoes. They're going to come out there. They're going to eat your baby. They're big dingoes. So, yeah, this is an S-tier name. That's our first S-tier that we've got on the tier list so far. Big Dingoes. Yes. More teams like that, Give me more Big Dingoes. That's what I want to be casting the entire time. It's easy to say. It's wonderful. It's memorable. There you go. That's a team name. Okay, the Volcel Color. Did I copy this right? Here, I'm going to take a look and see. We're going to look at Archon League. I think I copied that wrong. Yeah, that's Volcel Collective. I typed that wrong. What the hell is a Volcel? Like, I can call them the Collective, but what is a Volcel? I don't know what this is. I'm actually, like, legitimately confused and kind of upset even talking about it. So, I'm sorry, guys. You're giving me another, like, F-tier name. Maybe we can call you VC, but, I mean, that's voice chat. We're talking about, venture capitalism. VC, there's too many things that could be talking about that's just not your team. So Volcel my tongue is getting tied saying it. Okay. Let's move on though. I don't want to talk about Volcel anymore. I don't want to talk about them. We're gonna go to the Instigators. Okay, cool. They even got like a little bit of a pun in their name as well. They're not just Gators. They're not the Gators. They're not the Florida Gators. They're the Instigators. Could even have be like Instagram as well. If their social media is really on point, it's the Instigators Instagram. Hell yeah, that's a brand right there. Put me down in the S tier list. You got yourself something awesome. Okay. We got, one of the cool things, too, about AD2L is we got a couple of, like, franchises. So we've got, like, organizations or franchises or people who've got, more than one team under their umbrella. And so, we've already seen it with WSS, we've already seen it with MTL, but Victoria's Secret. Okay, this is brilliant. You want to talk about good branding? You want to talk about a fun team name? Victoria's Secret is all the way there. VS, Victoria's Secret. But then you kind of tack on March of Gods. March of Gods, awesome team name. Oh my god, I would love to cast Mog. March of Gods. Victoria's Secret, same thing. But something good and something good does not equal something good or even something great. I'm going to kind of put this in like A tier because the 2 parts of it are really cool. But the collective, putting them together, not so much. So, again, I like the team name. I like both halves of it. But Victoria's Secret March of Gods is just too much of a mouthful. Okay, let's move on. The UMN Gophers. Okay. This feels like a university team name. So, like, I mean, I don't know. I'm the University of Minnesota Gophers. I'm the, University of Michigan Northern Gophers. I don't know what this is, but yeah, this is totally a college name. Even if your team's not actually a university team. Even if I don't know, it's Unicorn Monkey Nancy or Unicorn Monkey Ninjas. There you go. You have the Monkey Ninjas. Even if that's what your organization actually is, no, this is like a total university team name, and you got the mascot of the Gophers. So, Gophers are kind of lame, but they're not exactly like a bad thing. I mean, we've seen, like, I don't know, the Aardvarks, or like there's some really wilding mascots out there for universities. I'm going to say this is at least an A tier one, because, I mean, it falls under tradition. It falls under some of the things that you expect to see in the real world, in sports, in organizations, etc. So let's move on to the next UMN, because again, we got another organization-wide thing here, and UMN Maroon. All right, this doesn't have the same, like, noun thing. Maroon's a color, or maroon's a really offensive, like, old-timey name for somebody who's a little bit dull. This is kind of sitting right between, like, B and F tier for me. What do you guys think? Is Maroon a B tier or an F tier team? I kind of want to say it's F tier, but I will be swayed if you guys think that's a B tier one. All right, Victoria's Secret 6th player. So I'm actually going to say that, like, this is one where if your team's name was just 6th player, wouldn't be that cool. Victoria's Secret, that's already a cool thing. But Victoria's Secret 6th player, you're an Archon stack. You recognize that you guys are kind of like the B squad already, and just taking that on top of an already established name and saying that you're the 6th player there, that's kind of insightful. It's kind of self-aware, and it's not too bad to say. Victoria's Secret 6th player. It's just boom, 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 boom. It rolls right off the tongue. So let's go on. Lemon Snow Cones. Great name. It's silly. It's goofy. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but at the same time, it's just, oh, yeah, this is the Lemon Snow Cones. They're taking on some serious team. They're taking on UMN Maroon. You see the Lemon Snow Cones and you're just immediately cheering for them. That is exactly the team that you want to win. Why? Because it's goofy. Because they're not going to take themselves too seriously. These are the guys who are going to pick Techies or Meepo or Pudge. You already know it just by looking at the team name. That's all you need to know. Okay, Wards in Base Prodigy. Another franchise that we have here for AD2L. So Wards in Base, awesome name. I love the franchise name. I love, like, the idea behind it because it's so silly, it's goofy, and it's also just rolls off the tongue again. Prodigy, there's no extra suffix onto this one. We're saying, all right, we're the young guns, we're the up-and-comers, we know exactly what we want to be. That's an S-tier name. Again, you take the brand, you add something cool onto it, and you don't make it into a mouthful. This is not the March of Gods, this is the Prodigies. Boom, easy. And then finally we have Ankeny, and Kenny, Ankeny. I can't even pronounce it. I don't know what the fuck it means. We're just going to say that's an F tier right away. So, boom. This is our Archon tier list. If you guys agree, that's awesome. If you guys think think that I'm completely wrong, I welcome you to make your own or to tell me that I'm wrong. But, I think that right here is if you're coming up with a team for your next season, this is what you want to use as inspiration, especially if you're coming up as an Archon stack. I have higher standards and expectations as you come up further and higher. Yeah, Wards and Base Prodigy. You're a Wards and Base team, you gotta hold... No. All right. Anyways, we're moving on. You're allowed to have your opinion, but we're gonna move on to Contender. Let's keep going, we don't have a lot of time. All right, so we got a couple of teams here, too, that are, like, in indeterminate divisions. We're not sure if they're finalized yet, but I'm going to include them anyways because, well, they're already, like, pretty interesting names. So we've already gone Big Dingoes. That's an S-tier name, but we don't know what division they're going to be in. They could be in Archon. They could be intermediate. We don't know anything about them. They might not be able to play at all. So, again, that's an S-tier team. We've already ranked them. We're not doing it again. Fat Guys in Tights. Oh, hell yes. It is simple. It is straightforward. It tells you exactly what they are. This is a Pudge picking team. Pudge picking team. Absolutely. Okay. Once again, WSS Kobolds. This kind of has the same issue as the Harpies, where you've got a wild, nerdy name, kind of a cool idea, but WSS. Want steep sets? You don't know what it means. You've got to do all of this thinking. You've got to do all of this wilding action to try and get your brain wrapped around it, and the entire time you're turned away from the action. Yeah, WS, I love the organization. I love these guys. They're really cool. I mean, I got a bit of a personal stake myself in one of the players in the organization. But that doesn't mean that, like, okay, the kobolds, the harpies, the hellbears, that's just definitely, like, straight up a B tier thing. All right, Fellowship of the Ping. You want to talk about S tier? You want to talk about big dingoes? This is another just absolute S tier. You hear it and you smile. You are an instant fan from the time that this name crosses your lips. Just absolutely brilliant. Fellowship of the Ping, you guys, if I could turn this into like a triple S tier, that's where you'd live right there. Fellowship of the Ping. All right, PSGS. So I don't know what this means. Postscript, gross script. It honestly, I've cast these guys before. It hurts my brain to try and figure this out. You guys might have a really cool abbreviation, but it needs to be said because PSGS just means a mouthful to me. Okay. Grin Reavers. Grin? It's an organization name. It doesn't mean anything to me, but that's okay. You know, organizations can be super neutral. And then the Reavers? Oh, baby, now we're talking Firefly. Now we're talking some really cool imagery. So absolutely, you know, this is a brand heaven. We got another S tier right there, in my opinion. Okay. Pool Lizard Boys. What, you definitely got me a little bit, nonplussed is the way I'm gonna say about this. The Pool Lizard Boys. So, this to me is like, I'm gonna give you a couple of points for being whimsical and being creative. But I don't know if the brain overload is enough to kind of bring you out of F tier, or if you're like top of F tier, you know? I think we're gonna leave you there for now, and maybe if I change my mind, we'll bump that up. But I mean, it's like you took 3 random words out of the dictionary. Just, okay, noun. There we go, yeah. Okay. Petting Zoo Rejects. So, something about this team name, something about it when I'm, like, looking at them, when I'm reading their name, it's like, it rubs me in an interesting way. I already get an emotional reaction, but the problem is that it's not necessarily a good one. I hear the Petting Zoo Rejects, and immediately I think of, like, 1990s high school movies, and, like, the like, nerd movie kind of thing. So, like, you've definitely done the right job in giving some kind of reaction and a thought on just reading the name, but I'm not gonna say it's, like, 100% good. So I'm going to say that's an A tier name. I think that's a pretty good baseline for an A tier. The Isle of Misfit Toys, okay, I can definitely see that as well. But, like, I don't know, Petting Zoo Rejects is like the guys who missed the audition for Madagascar or Zootopia, you know? Just like all of the characters that the concept art got thrown out in production. All right, Mary Todd Lincoln. So, Mary Todd Lincoln... this is better than Forever Young, but this is still no better than B tier. I'm gonna say that, like, Forever Young just makes it worse because we talked about a good thing and a good thing, but, like, adding, not necessarily being a great thing. But here, if you remove some of the chop, it gets a little bit better. So I'm gonna say that's a B tier name. All right, To Be Decided. That's not a team name. That's not a team name. That's you being lazy. Get out of here. Get the hell out of here. You're going to F tier immediately. Get a real name. Okay, Wards and Base Sabers. So I really like the Prodigy, especially as, you know, an Archon team where they're expecting to, you know, get better. They're saying we're the young guns. The Wards and Base Sabers, that is the most just kind of generic thing. I like the organization name. I think the Sabers is just a B tier. You're not actively bad, but you gotta brand that up, baby. Wasted Youth. Okay, cool name. It's vanilla. It's straight up. And honestly, like, Wasted became an organization, but it all started with Wasted Youth, as I understand it. And I love it. It's simple, it's beautiful, and it's a little bit of a pun, too, in there. Like, just the, okay, we spent, you know, 8-10 years playing Dota. Where has it gone? Wasted Seed is where it started? All right. But yeah, Wasted Youth, I like. I like it a lot. I like it, but it's not like an S tier thing. It doesn't have the immediate, like, ring out to me. It's just, okay, this is a good name. This isn't a great one, it's a good name. Okay. Helmets On. This is another one where I don't see anything wrong with it. It is a solid name. It has good branding potential, but I don't think it has, like, the same kind of standout factor as, like, Fellowship of the Ping, as the Grin Reavers, as the Fat Guys in Tights, and I think that it doesn't have some of the flaws that you get with Mary Todd Lincoln or the Words and Base Sabers, so I'm going to leave that just kind of, again, in A tier. This is acceptable, this is good, you can brand it, you can do whatever you want to, it feels good to say, but it's not, like, outstanding. Sol Invictus. So this, the first thing that I hear when I say this is like, Nodus Vincier, Navi. And it's kind of the thing where, like, if it wasn't for Dendy and the old Navi boys in TI 1 and 2, I would never care about Navi. It's not a good team name. The only reason that people know it is because they had some all-stars in Dota, they had some all-stars in CSGO when Zeus was around. So, you're probably right. The Festival of Sol... All right, let's go ahead and look that up. I'm going to put it in B tier for the second. I'm going to put it in B tier for a second. I'm going to look this up on my other monitor. Okay, the Festival of Sol Invictus. So, this is Sol Invictus Festival. Oh, it's Christmas time. All right, so, again, I like the topicality of it, but the problem is it's not evident. Like, it gives you credit, but it can't be above A tier. I will give you B tier because, you know, this is a one season. If you come back after this season, after season 30, you are going down to B or F tier because it's not a good name. But for the season, for the actual, like, idea of, okay, we're a one-off team we built specifically for season 30 around Christmas, we'll do Sol Invictus. We'll do Sol Invictus. Okay, Routers of Rohan, another just beautiful name. It has a little bit of the pun in there. It has things that you can brand. This has been around for a while, and it's just a good name. And then we're going to cap this off with the GOAT 5. My immediate thought here is this is kind of like floating between A tier and B tier, and I'm not entirely sure where. It's not an actively bad name. It has, like, kind of brandability to me. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of All My Homies Love Crack. Where, like, okay, there's stuff you can do. You can make this be really silly. You can make it be serious. But I think that GOAT 5, I'll give it, like, an A tier, and AMHLC, I would give a B tier, because this is one that has more adaptability to it. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this is kind of like the pivot around where the rest of this list lives. This is right on that border between A and B tier, and everything else is kind of in a rough order. These are unordered again, so, like, this is just flat tier, flat tier, flat tier. But I'm pretty happy with this so far. Let's take one last quick look over it. So we got Fat Guys in Tights, Fellowship of the Ping, Grin Reavers, and Routers of Rohan is my S tier. Grin Reavers might be an A tier one instead of an S tier, but I feel like that's pretty good where it's at. Petting Zoo Rejects, Wasted Youth, Helmets On, Sol Invictus, and GOAT 5. Again, Sol Invictus and GOAT 5 are kind of right on my border, and I think GOAT 5 is a little bit like a little bit lower than Sol Invictus, just because it's like doesn't have the seasonal, doesn't have the topicality to it. And then WSS Kobolds, Mary Todd Lincoln, and Words and Base Sabers, they're all B tier. They have flaws, but they're still acceptable. Like, we'll take those. And then PSGS, Pool Lizard Boys, and 2B decided, look, if you guys want to win a season, if you want to be taken seriously, you got to rebrand. I know some people out there who can do that for you, but you gotta find something that's actually gonna strike terror or do something for the street value, for the first impression. All right, let's move on to intermediate. The Juggernauts, Melting Snowflakes. I mean, we can already see that there is an improvement here so far in some of the team quality. So I'm gonna be jumping around a little bit here because I want to put this in a little bit of an order. Maybe not a perfect one, but a little bit of an order. So Jakir O'Neal, far and away, if you disagree with this being the best team name in AD2L, all right, might not be the best in AD2L, but it is definitely, like, absolute 100%, without a doubt, S tier. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. All right. To be determined was already, that was on the that was on Contender. I don't know why that's here too. We're getting that out of here. Let's see here. So Mochi? I guess that's does this game have fall damage? All right. If it wasn't for the fact that like that is really hard to say, you got to just like say fall damage, I would love that name. I'm going to say that's like at the border of S and A tier. So like let's put it down at the bottom of S for now. That's going to be the next one that we cover then. Let's see here. Monkeys on bikes, you know? I like it. It's silly, it's whimsical, it's straightforward. We're going to say that that one is solid S tier. That's like, if S tier is like, you know, your top 10%, that one is easily, it falls in there. Definitely a high tier team name. And then, I think those are kind of the ones that are really standouts as definitely S tier for me. So we're going to kind of jump through the rest of them then and see what we can come up with. So, the Juggernauts. All right. If I knew the people, it would be a little bit different as to whether it was good or bad. If it's, you know, if it's the kind of people who are like saying, oh yeah, we're nutty, we're kind of wild, and we're out there, then I'd give that like a high tier team. But if it's like someone who's just like, we're making a sex pun, you know, we're being all vulgar and shit, then I think that's kind of like a lower tier team thing. So it really depends on the class that you manage to bring and deliver this one to. It's the difference between like a teenager saying big dick energy and someone who's like in their mid-20s saying big dick energy, you know? That depends on how cringy it ends up being. So we'll say that that's like between A tier and B tier somewhere. So we'll bring it down to right in this area and we'll figure it out as we go. Melting snowflakes. Straightforward, simple. I kind of like the 2-tier pun on it too. Are you calling people snowflakes that you're melting because you're so good? Are you that fire of a team? Are you saying that your team is like the melting snowflakes out of shape kind of? I don't know. It's a solid team name to me. TN Tech Esports Club. Okay. Very, very vanilla, very generic, and solidly B tier. Just flat in the middle of there. There's nothing that you can say about that. There's nothing you can do. It's just what it is. DX. Maybe if you're a wrestling fan, maybe if you think DX is the best in the business, but I'm gonna say that that is an F tier, straight up. You're just kind of there. It's big ol' nothing burger. And I agree, yep, the sad face really is where that comes in. So, Pot of Wrath. So, I like Pot of Greed as a team name. And then turning it into the 7 Deadly Sins, I feel like Pot of Greed is a really strong one, and then Pot of Wrath kind of falls into like the high B tier or low A tier, because it starts to make the pun evident, but it doesn't have the same referential value. So we're going to say that one's like a B tier for right now. It's better than a vanilla name like you'd have TN Tech Sports Club, but I'm going to say that it's not like a super, super awesome one, in my opinion. Oh, they had so many other pot cards from Yu-Gi-Oh? I never played Yu-Gi-Oh! I never played Yu-Gi-Oh! So, like, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like, I only know Pot of Greed because it's the meme. So, like, just bear with me on this one. This is me coming from an outsider's perspective. Okay. Grin Fallen. So, I like Grin Ethereal. I like Grin Reavers. But Fallen just doesn't have the same ring to me. I'm going to say that this one's kind of like bottom of A tier because, again, it has some of the same, like, branding value, but it's not the same, like, boomtown, I guess you'd say, that Grin Reavers or Grin Ethereal has. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to put that one in, like, the bottom of A tier. WSS Satyrs, alright, this is the exact same thing as the Kobolds were before them. It just kind of falls right in that B tier of, it has flaws, it's a solid name, whatever. Like, you can brand it, you can do what you want to with it. This is, to me, there's no difference in terms of brand value between the WSS Satyrs, Harpies, and Kobolds. Hey, Holo. We are in intermediate right now. We'll go back over the other tiers before I finalize the video, and we'll kind of make sure that I have a rough idea and don't want to change anything. So we got Fellowship of the Ping Potential. To be decided? To be decided. I seen it in Contender on the bracket. I don't know if you guys were supposed to be in Intermediate or in Contender. I put you in Contender because I don't know any better. And I said that was an F tier name because that's not a team name. That's you guys just shipping the blame, shipping the responsibility off to somebody else. Of Hollow's Ancient One here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take this right out of here, and we're going to drop it into F tier. Oh, to be decided and to be determined. Wait. Those are two different things. All right, I didn't realize that. This is still the same thing, though. To be determined. So, I'm going to give you guys the same criticism as, I gave to be decided, though. Like, to be decided is a little bit lower, but to be determined is the same thing. It's just, what's our team name? I don't know. To be determined. Okay, it's a meme, but, like, it's a meme in the way that you just don't have anything better to say. So... Pick it up, guys. You can come up with something better. I have a lot of confidence in you, and I know you guys are like a team that's been around at least one season prior. So I want to see some more, and maybe you'll excite me. Maybe the gameplay will excite me. But if I'm casting it, if I'm calling it, it's all right. And we're gonna have to see if To Be Determined wins the game. I'm gonna feel like a jackass saying that. All right. So, Fellowship of the Ping Potential. Fellowship of the Ping, great name. Fellowship of the Ping Potential. So, again, this is kind of the same idea as the Victoria's Secret March of Gods thing. A good name and a good name does not equal a great name or even a good name. In fact, I'm going to drop this one down to B tier. But, because it's just, it turns it into too much of a mouthful. No, Fellowship of the Ping is an Archon team. Fellowship of the Ping Potential, which is like, again, you take it from, are they, no, they're Contender, not Archon. They're Contender. Like, it feels like they're going, I don't know, it feels weird to me, and it's just adding something that's already a good vanilla name into, what? Like, what's the Fellowship of the Ring's potential? You've already gone into Mordor. You've already delivered the ring. What's next? You go back. It's there and back again, baby. All right, Mochi. Sorry, this doesn't do it for me at all. This is a flat name. Nothing for me. Carlson Advantage as well. That's also just nothing. Not even remotely. This is this is a jank ass name. Hey, Magus. Let's see here then. And then lastly, Pod Agreed. So I think the Pod Agreed, we're going to give a better ranking here and put it in like the middle of A tier right next to the Juggernauts. Because, it's the same idea. It's like this is the more recognizable version of Pod of Wrath. So, this is the one that actually has like the recognizable value. But you're going to be thinking of, the Yu-Gi-Oh card the entire time instead of like looking at their brand name as an individual. You're going to be drawing 2 additional cards. But you see, here's the thing. You're too busy getting caught up in making that joke every time they get a kill that, I don't know. It feels like a distraction. It feels like it's too tired of a joke. So, I feel like this is the one that I am least certain of so far with respect to the tier list is Intermediate. I liked Contender, I liked Archon, but I'm the least certain so far of my placements for Intermediate. And it might be because I'm trying to get the order down, but I think that this is the one that I am just the least certain of. So let's go ahead and move on to Divine before we'll backtrack. So, not as many teams in Divine, but when we have a pretty big influx since seasons prior. The league is growing. That's the big thing to say. So I'm going to just go ahead and say it right now. S tier, Victoria's Secret. Absolutely. This is the originator. This is the OG. This is the team that makes you just laugh the entire time as you're saying it, but it feels damn good. Wards in Base, another one. Just really solid team name. You don't need the suffixes. You don't have anything else that goes on to it. It's just a boom. Wards in Base. Nocturnal Rainbow, you know? I really like this name. I can't even tell you why. There's just something that is super solid about it. It's not like the kind of name that tells you what it is, but it's just, okay, we can straight up say Nocturnal Rainbow, two words that seemingly don't go well together, but they roll off the tongue like a dream. So let's move on just down the list. DC Clan. I'm gonna give that one a B tier because I'm remembering the days of being on BattleNet back in the 90s and everything like that, and you'd have all of these clans, and they're just like, oh, hey, you know, we're DC Clan, we're FaZe Clan, we're this clan, that clan, and they'd have these, like, names that didn't tell you nothing about what they were, and you'd meet the people there, and they were the biggest jackasses in the world, and I think there's just something about the name, the like title clan being in a team name that just turns me off after those days, and I don't know why. Let's see here. Wasted Idiots. I can't decide if this is an, like, it's floating between A tier, B tier, and S tier for me. And I think I'm going to make the compromise of just saying this is an A-tier name. It makes me smile saying it, and I also feel like a jackass. So, like, you got to be real careful when working with this team, because if they're idiots and you get it wrong, well, you feel like an even bigger idiot. All right. Team O's. Or, ooh. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I missed the WSS Hellbears. So I've been giving the WSS teams a solid B tier every single one, but I actually like Hellbears as a name. Like, I think that if WSS is a tough brand to work with, the Hellbears actually drag it upwards just by the sheer strength of kind of the coolness and the identifiability of the name. So we're going to put that in A tier. That's by far and away the best branding value for the WSS squad, in my opinion. All right, Team O's. Ooh. Honestly, the only reason I think that this isn't an A-tier one is because it's really hard to read and, like, to comprehend. Even if it's just all O's, something about seeing that in-client melts my brain. So I'm going to say that's a B-tier one, and not because it's strictly a bad name or a good name, but just because it makes my head hurt. All right, so I'm gonna guess that that's somebody's aunt's name, and I really hope that you're giving her a lot of respect, because I don't have any respect for this team name. Get it the hell out of here! I can't even say it. What does that mean? Anti-Kythera, Anti-Kythera, Anti-Kythera. Whatever it is, man. No. Okay. Paradox Gaming. If you put gaming in your name, it's kind of generic. It's sort of like clan, but doesn't have the same negative association for me. Paradox is kind of all right, though. So, like, just, okay, we say Team Paradox, Paradox Gaming, whatever. It runs off the tongue. It's a common word. There's nothing wrong with the brand, and I could definitely see it being its own esports organization if you really wanted to go in that direction. Grin Ethereal. So this one goes right up there with Grin Reavers for me. I love the name. It's hard for me to say because I always say Ethereal for some reason because I'm a dumbass. But overall, it's another one that's just kind of a cool, edgy name. The world's first oldest computer. You know, a lot of respect for that. But what the fuck am I gonna know that, man? Like, I'm trying to even think of something that I know that's that esoteric that would be, comparable, you know? Just like, all right, it's like, saying we're Team Semaphore or something like that, you know? It's just, no one knows what that means unless you do. So, yeah, I'm not feeling it. All right, Wards in Base. Wards in Base is, I already said that's an S tier one. Wasted Dumbledore. I like Wasted Youth. I like Wasted Idiots. I have a cat in my room. 1 second. Get out of here! Stop eating the plastic! He's not allowed in here. He's not allowed in my office. Okay. Be that as it may. So, wasted Dumbledore. Like wasted youth, I like wasted idiots. I don't like wasted Dumbledore. I think it's just kind of like a, where the hell did you get this suffix? I'm sorry, that's an F tier name. Also, fuck J.K. Rowling, just saying. And then wasted creature. This is better than Dumbledore, worse than idiots, worse than youth. We're gonna just kind of put that in a solid B tier. And then let's finish it off with Coconuts Gaming. So, this is incredibly generic. It's nothing that's really right home about it. I'm gonna just say that this kind of defaults into B tier is just a general idea. So before we sign off on this, we're going to go ahead and do one last look to see where everything is, and then we'll finish this off and see what we like. So, Archon, we've got Big Dingoes, the Instigators, Victoria's Secret 6th player, Lemon Snowcones, and Wards and Base Prodigy on S tier. A tier's Two Boots, the March of Gods, UMN Gophers. I kind of feel like they should go down to B tier, to be honest. I don't think that it's as strong as I was initially thinking. I'm going to move this down to B tier. Now that I've gotten some more teams under my belt, this feels like a generic, just kind of whatever burger, to be honest. So WSS Harpies, the Mittenses, and UMN Gophers are all B tier for me. And then Mary Todd Lincoln, Forever Young, the Vocel Collective. Oh, God, that's hard to say. I get pissed off just reading that again, man. Like, I know. Vocel, what is that word? Get it out of here. UMN Maroon and Onkani. Sounds like the name of a city in Alaska, man. All those are F tier. Get better names. Come on. Make me proud. So S tier for Contender. Fat Guys in Tights, if they can get their shit together and actually have a team. I know that they're on one of the wait lists right now. Fellowship of the Ping, hell yes. Grin Reavers, Routers of Rohan, all S tier names. Good branding, really fun, just wilding team names, and maybe make me feel like a jackass, but that's fine. Petting Zoo Rejects, Wasted Youth, Helmets On, Soul Invictus, and the Goat 5. Again, Soul Invictus and Goat 5, they're kind of right in between A and B tier in my opinion, but we'll still gonna err on the side of A tier for now. And then Kobolds, Mary Todd Lincoln, and Wards and Base Sabers, they're all B tier. Nothing that's particularly strong or egregiously weak about it. Ankeny is in Iowa. All right. Well, no one even knows where Iowa is or knows anyone who lives in Iowa except for Slipknot. So I guess we're going to leave that in an F tier one then. And then PSGS, Pool Lizard Boys, and To Be Decided are the F tiers for Contender. I hope they have better results than their team name because they're certainly going to need it. There's no intimidation factor. There's no face value on those names. Let's keep moving. So Intermediate, this is the one that we've got kind of actually in order. The tip of the top is Jakir O'Neal, followed by Monkeys on Bikes. And then does this game have fall damage? Again, does this game have fall damage? Could be an A tier one as well. It's too much of a mouthful, but I just love the sass in it. A tier, Melting Snowflakes, Pot of Greed, The Juggernauts, and Grin Fallen. Then Fellowship of the Ping Potential, Pot of Wrath, WSS Satyrs, and TN Tech Esports Club will round out the B tier. And then finally, DX, Mochi to be determined, and Carlson Advantage. What kind of name is Carlson Advantage? That sounds like a chess term. Like, all right, they're up by 2 points. They have the Carlson advantage, and we're going to have to see if the Sicilian defense turns into a gambit that will close out the game in 8 moves. No. All right, we're moving on. I can't look at that. And then finally, in Divine tier, it sounds like an ad for some detergent. You're right, good guy. All right, so Victoria's Secret, another top tier name, absolutely. Wards and Base, Nocturnal Rainbow, and Grin Ethereal. All of them S tier for Divine League. And again, I kind of put like higher expectations on Divine League having good names because you're getting a little bit closer to being a bubble team. You're getting closer to Immortal, where some people might start to take you seriously outside of the amateur scene. And so you've got to actually be more on top of your branding. Dota as a whole just has awful branding, and I wish that people would get better with their social media, with their branding, with their idea of how to outreach to people who are just on the bubble of playing and watching. But that's a rant for another day. So regardless, though, I kind of have higher expectations for Divine League. Wasted Idiots, the Hellbears, and Paradox Gaming are all A tier in my opinion. Really don't have quite the same ring that I'd expect from an S tier team, or some of the level of professionality in the case of Wasted Idiots. But overall, they're definitely salvageable, definitely playable, and I could see it being the kind of thing that you see as like a tier 3 tournament entry. It's better than certainly some handles in fighting games. Okay, DC Clan, Team O's, Wasted Creature, and Coconuts Gaming. So all of them are kind of the B tier ones. Again, if I saw them in a tournament, I wouldn't think anything of them. Even if I recognized them, I still probably wouldn't remember it. So these are kind of the forgettables. And then lastly, the so bad it hurts my brain a little bit is Anti-Kithara and Wasted Dumbledore. So there you've got it, guys. If you agree, if you disagree, feel free to let me know. But this is what I think. This is our preview of the season, and honestly, this is the most important tier list, because if you don't have a good name, then how are we supposed to enjoy what you're doing? How are you supposed to enjoy what you're doing? A name is everything. So there you go. That's what you've got it. We're going to go ahead and sign this one off. I'll try and post it up to YouTube. I'm glad you guys were here to stick around. This is the tier list, the most authoritative, masterful, tip-top of the pops tier list that we've got in AD2L. I've been staged, and you guys have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful evening, or whatever the hell time it is for you.